my God. Do you know that jail's about to be the most exclusive place? It's gonna
Uh,
about to be more exclusive. I messed up the line. Should I try it again?
Yeah, try it again. Ready?
Okay.
3,
Okay.
2, 1.
um, do you know that jail's about to be more exclusive than a red carpet event in Hollywood?
What do you mean?
I think I did that way better.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're about to have a president in jail, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All these high power businessmen in
Mhm.
jail.
We already got Hollywood in there with the SAT thing.
It's gonna be hard to get into jail, guys.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? This is Nicky Trent.
I'm Manny also.
And you're listening to Bubble Bath Stories, your favorite 15-minute podcast. Where do we even begin?
Well, I mean, honestly, trigger warning, right?
Yes.
Where we decided to bring up a couple of subjects that just happen to seem really similar to us.
Yes. Not similar to like us.
Yeah.
The stories similar to
in a Venn
what we
diagram.
were
It's
seeing.
like you're only filling in the middle part.
Yes.
Vince McMahon, Sean Combs. What does he go by now?
Mr. AKA P. Diddy, Diddy, Puff Daddy, Puffy, brotherly love,
brother love.
Yeah. Shit, there is another one. That's all I got right now.
And his
sociopath.
Sean John is his clothing line.
That's not even a thing anymore.
Is that a name? Oh, that's not a thing anymore? Oh, no. Wow.
Macy's is about to not be a thing anymore.
What went on with Sean Combs?
Oh no, we're gonna start with Vince.
You want to start with Vince?
Yeah, we're gonna start with Vince.
Vince's one.
If
was
you don't
like
know
a big
who
surprise.
Vince is, it's Vince McMahon,
Vince
the
McMahon,
person who
former
bought
chairman,
WWE.
Yeah. So a couple months ago, January, he got in the news because Janelle Grant is filing a lawsuit with them, right, for sex trafficking. Yeah, that's what the lawsuit is, what the indictment entails. Apparently, he promised a job, promised a position of to help her out with her career. Mm-hmm. He lived in her apartment, apparently, in her building. So it was really weird. Like when you read the indictment, it just paints this picture of like a creepy old man that lived in your building.
He is a creepy
and
old
was
man.
like, hey, you need some help with some stuff. It's nuts, you know. Yeah, my Vince McMahon impression is gonna get me in trouble one day. But so anyways, in the indictment, what's going on is that she alleges that, you know, the rape allegations, the misconduct sexually in the office, the fact that people in the office knew about it and didn't say anything, mm-hmm. Putting John Laurinaitis with it as well, saying that he was involved in it. The actual wake of everything is they have pretty much taken Brock Lesnar off of WWE. He's not going to be a playable character on the next video game either. And so with the lawsuit, I thought it was crazy reading it as far as what these little details are with it, right?
So let's talk about like some of the similarities.
Yeah.
Before we go into because it's how could you be such a public figure and think that human trafficking wouldn't eventually your secret would eventually come out, like, essentially.
How do you do stuff like that and not think, yeah, it's not
to be so more so to be so arrogant that you really think somebody's gonna hold on to your secret forever?
It's not like petty theft.
Yeah, you're going to jail.
Yeah,
bro. Like that's not Club Fett, by the way.
Yeah. So they both have very similar details to them, very eerie, similar details. So they're both promising people jobs. They're both telling them also money. This is how, saying things like this is how our industry mm-hmm. works, kind of stuff, you know. And at the end, when we looked at them both, we thought it was crazy that both of them are going down for one simple detail.
What's that detail?
They didn't pay the bill.
Pay your bill.
Like, let me ask you, if you had to list all the 5 most important bills in every month that you got to take care of, I'm sure mortgage is up there. What? Insurance. Gas, insurance,
groceries,
hush money.
Yes, for some that should be number 1.
Definitely, if not number 1,
it
should be number high. Yeah, really high up there.
Wait, how much did he not pay her? It was like a really small amount,
right? Well, when they started talking about money with Vince McMahon, at first they were saying, oh, so in 2022 they said he paid about 3 or 5 million in the last few years in hush money. Then they did the accounting.
Well, for her specifically.
Whoa. So then they did the accounting and found out it was closer to 19 million over the last 16 years.
Oh my God.
At that time, there was the whole merger going on with the company and TKO, UFC, the whole thing that's going on. You can get those details. But whatever was going on with that, at that time, it was required to do the accounting so that they could finalize these deals and everything. And when that happened, he didn't pay Janelle Grant the money.
Do you know how much money it was?
So he was supposed to pay her $3 million as part of an NDA, and he paid $1 million, and then it was supposed to be installments of $500,000 after that.
Okay.
And she was supposed to get that February last year, and she didn't get it. So he paid her the first $1 million, and the problem came about is because legal fees, medical fees, interest, insurance costs, taxes. Because keep in mind, if you read this stuff, like what it really details is that he was paying all her bills throughout her years and stuff. Mm-hmm. She didn't have a job, so she's not reporting any kind of actual.
I wonder if she had to pay taxes on the mill.
So like yeah, that's the thing. Like all of the first $1 million covered like expenses, I'm sure. So then it's like, hey, I still need money. And here's the worst part of it. So with the NDA, he didn't want her to be able to speak about anything, not just anything with the relationship, but not even being involved with WWE during that time. So her lawyers are arguing she can't even get a job then. Her job references are going to say nothing for the last 10, 12 years. They're going to say, what have you been doing for the last 10, 12 years? I'm not allowed to talk about it. You're not allowed to talk about it.
I can't believe that I'm going to say this, but at least Vince McMahon at least had the wherewithal to get NDA signed, because P. Diddy, Sean Combs, whatever the fuck you want to call him, never did that. He was going based on fear. So basically saying that he will ruin your career, that he will fucking take you out. Mm-hmm. It was like really some pimpo mentality.
He was trying to go based on like it was the street or something.
Yes, but imagine how many people were quiet that didn't have NDAs.
So he wasn't that smart though.
No, I'm not.
Let me tell you something.
Okay, first of all, I'm not giving him
not to get. What I'm saying is like, you're right. What you're saying is right. But if you kind of look at it, Vince wasn't that smart with it though. No, because apparently the NDA lacks the legal language of the things that he agrees to do if she agrees not to speak. So there's nothing in the NDA that actually says that he'll pay the money and take care of this and this and that. So because of that, they're also saying like, wait a minute, your part of the agreement isn't even in there. So, but another reason to void it out. On top of that, it was done during the Speak Out Act. Mm-hmm. So they're saying like, no, this NDA violates the Speak Out Act. And then they said she was coerced at the time, and that the core of the terminology is too broad as far as like she can't talk about anything. Here's the kicker. If they can kick this NDA out, they're saying that all the other NDAs have probably the same language.
Absolutely.
So they're all going to be...
He definitely copied and pasted for
a copy and paste situation.
he went on Reddit and was like, "What's a really good NDA?"
What's that legal website?
LegalZoom. Hey,
Legal
that's
Zoom.
for real. Don't like try to cover it up. That is legit. When we were talking about like how we were going to structure the episode and everything, you brought up a really good point yesterday about both of these gentlemen that really is kind of scary, right? Yeah. You said, I don't know if you remember. Do you remember?
About what?
You said, isn't it funny how these two guys?
Oh, about how them being in the business in the first place. Yes. So I thought this was crazy. Well, what's with the balloons? The business.
The business.
No, strike the balloons. Anyways, I thought it's funny because like there's stories and their come up and the aura and the legend behind them is really kind of similar if you look at it with a little bit of scrutiny.
Right.
Both of them were in situations where they weren't allowed to do the thing that they wanted to do.
Right.
Puff Daddy wanted to sing, act, and dance.
Right.
He couldn't sing, act, and dance.
I mean,
Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon wanted to be a bodybuilder and wrestler. Poppy said no.
Poppy said no.
and then what happened? Vince McMahon bought his dad's company, and he made himself the WWE champion. And what did Puff Daddy do? He started his own record label and he put himself in the music videos.
Yes, and he made himself his own client.
And look, nothing against, like, you can say anything you want against because they're both monsters.
Yeah.
Because like, yeah, I'm sure like when you put work ethic and like actually putting hours in, all that has an effect. But the truth, if you look at their stories, they're very similar as far as like, if I can't have what I want,
then nobody can.
And I'm gonna make everybody do it the way I want.
They're fucking little brats.
Yeah, like they need to have they live in a world where everything's a play set.
Well, let me tell you something.
You know?
So I read the indictment for P. Diddy, 73 pages. I'm very proud of myself.
Yeah, right.
And Rodney, I think his name's Rodney Jones. He is the defendant or the plaintiff. He's the plaintiff. Sorry. He's the plaintiff. He's the one that is coming forward to press charges, not only against Diddy, but Diddy's son, Justin Combs, as well as like all the record labels that he's affiliated with and some people that are part of his team. Jones says that Diddy threatened him, basically told him, I would kill my own mother to get whatever I want. What makes you think I won't do that to you? What?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the charges, he talks about him being drug infueled, like drugs everywhere.
Yeah.
He talks about how Diddy is known for spiking bottles, that he has separate bottles for men and separate bottles for women. He has there's charges in here about underage girls at these parties. I mean, it kind of led into a bunch of RICO charges.
Yeah.
So not only that, but his other son, so this one's Justin, I think Christian is the other one, the one that's a rapper, is also part of these RICO charges because he's going out there getting sex workers and underage girls to come to these parties. Let me tell you one thing that I find most disgusting out of all the disgusting things both these men have done. They have involved their children into their escapades, and now their children will have to pay for that. I know you said Stephanie McMahon is about to be called up.
So that's the nuts thing, right? So now a lot of the entanglement has been happening with other people that were coerced into shutting up about anything about the WWE, right?
Your kids.
So there's this thing coming out now where apparently Stephanie McMahon was in the room with, and this is just alleged, so like for it to be proven, like it's gonna be nuts if it's proven. Yeah. But apparently Stephanie McMahon has been in the room while some of these coercion tactics have been taking place, right?
A woman.
Where they're telling me like, so there's Ashley Grant is a wrestler who committed suicide. She committed. Yeah, I don't want to take it off.
Yeah.
But so she is a wrestler who had an attack happen, and she wrote a book. You know, it's very much being spoken about right now because when it happened, apparently it happened during a visit to the Marines while they were doing a salute for the troops thing. And so what the story is that she was told not to say anything so that it wouldn't ruin their relationship with the US government and the Marines. And so at the time, like I don't know how huge of news it was because it ended up dying down. It's coming back out now.
Yeah.
But now more details are coming that like Stephanie McMahon may have been in the room during these conversations. And all I'm saying is that like, dude, like if any of your kids or family were in there while you were doing these things to people, like all it's gonna take is a subpoena.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that's all it's gonna take.
And to be honest with you,
I don't think any of them would bat an eye to letting him get buried.
And that's how it should be because your parents should be protecting you. You shouldn't be protecting your parents.
But the crazy thing is the time.
Yeah, like none of them should have been involved in it. And like what I always thought was crazy about Diddy's thing was like he was always, I thought his kids live with him, which I always thought was like, oh, okay. But now that all this stuff is coming out, I can't even imagine that the mothers of these kids had any kind of power to not let that happen, if that makes sense. I mean,
that's why it's a huge polarizing conversation when you talk about the people around them. Yeah, you know, because it's really it really the question of like, how do you not know?
I mean, but
that question keeps coming up with anytime something like this happens. You talk about the people around them and they say, how did they not know?
Well, it's like the whole Cassie.
Yeah.
The whole Cassie situation. Look at, now all these stories are coming out about how these people knew what the fuck was going on and they were just standing by.
Yeah.
One of the other things that they a lot of the allegations in here, I mean, star-studded, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't know about you.
Yeah. No, you got definitely the red carpet.
I mean, talk about the worst blind items I have. They're more deaf items because you can clearly see who the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're even wrapped up into this, I can't. First of all, you have to be shaking in your fucking boots. This guy is coming with receipts. You do not get this without a jury saying, all right, you got what you need. You have a case here.
That's what I'm saying. Like both these documents don't go this far unless there's something to it.
Yeah.
And so people will keep saying like, well, alleged. Like people who wanted to track will be like, well, alleged. No, you don't get this far unless there's something to it.
Yeah. And it's like, Diddy has always been known to be outrageous.
Yeah.
And it was always revered as, well, he's just so brilliant. This is why he's like this. And you start to realize like, oh shit, you're just a psycho. You basically had a gun to everybody's head. And how could they talk about how all his parties, there's he has hidden cameras throughout his whole house, which is how he got the video of Stevie J. You guys could Google it. We're not gonna show it. Which, hello, Stevie J, you might want to be shaking in your boots a little bit. Which means he has all these cameras and still thinks nobody's gonna come after me. What are they gonna do? Hello, Rodney Jones gave up the tech guy's number. The number is there.
They know the guy's name. Yeah. Yes.
He will probably roll over if it means that he does not have to go to jail. What also is so gross is that so they talk about an situation where he made Jones go, when they were in Miami, look for sex workers, and he made him wear like specific exclusive bad boy stuff, which signaled to these sex workers that Diddy was in town because that's how they flagged
that
was his his calling card.
Yeah.
What? They say here at a studio.
Yeah.
Him and his son went into the bathroom with somebody else. They got into an argument, and him and his son walked out. And the guy was on the floor because he was shot in the stomach. And then they were like, that Diddy told everybody to tell the police that it was a drive-by. Were there bullets outside?
Yeah. I went on to NPR, right, and I wanted to look up like a little bit of like how Diddy was ooh, great. This is happening right now. Scroll. Hold on.
I mean, the pictures are kind of damn. He's got the Cuba Gooding Jr. pictures.
There we go. So, 1990, according to a 2023 lawsuit, Combs R&B singer Aaron Hall allegedly sexually assaulted an unnamed victim and friend after a music industry event. 1991, during this lawsuit, that's when they included Joy Dickerson. 1998, that's when they started throwing his all-white parties, and they started calling him a modern-day Gatsby.
Ugh, I remember that.
2003, let's see, that's when the former Bad Boy Records president Harvey Pierre, a third unidentified man, allegedly ganged up on an unnamed 17-year-old victim. 2004, he starts going to that's when he did the all-white party with the Declaration of Independence. That's what I wanted to bring up. This is how crazy this guy is. Why do you rent the Declaration of Independence for a party?
I think what's also crazy is that he aligns himself with other predators. Like there's talking here about TD Bishop Jake, who also has allegations of sexual abuse. They talk about Cuba Gooding Jr. also has allegations of sexual abuse. I mean, the actual fuck is. I am just happy that these people are getting exposed.
Yeah,
because how deeply rooted in evil this is so fucked up, and they have endless amount of money. I mean, I don't know about now. Diddy lost all his deals. Nobody's really fucking with him. Young
they're
Miami.
Trying to take his Grammy away, right? Or
oh
did they?
My god!
They're still under.
Have they said anything about that? I actually had that in my notes about how he was nominated for. He's nominated for a Grammy this year for an R&B song.
For our December 23, public petition started by feminist survivor advocacy group Ultraviolet circulate recalls to rescind his 2024 Grammy nomination for a progressive R&B album.
Do you think we were talking about who has like the worst job amongst the lackeys, and I have to say, none of the people named in the suit, I think, had worse jobs. I think it was the people under his chief of staff that had the worst jobs.
Yeah.
Because literally they were lackeys for real.
Yeah.
Like they were expendable. So nobody really I think that would be the worst. I can't imagine they get paid the best either.
So on LA
and you're on call 24/7.
They did on LA, what is it?
LA Times.
LA Times, yeah. So on LA Times, they actually went through a list of all the people and what the lackeys' jobs were. And so for you to bring that up, I thought was funny too, because I was thinking how Vince McMahon's got no lackeys under him. It's just people who work in the building.
He's so cheap.
Yeah, it's just people who work in the building.
Yeah, he's so cheap. He was like, I already paid people as little as possible. I'll give you a 10-cent raise to do a little more.
But Puff Daddy had like straight up lackeys.
Yeah, I mean, fucking nuts. I am happy that these people are fucking exposing them. And shout out to all the people who've been like Aubrey from Danity Kane, who's been talking about how he's trash and she's dragged up and down all over.
Yeah.
Shout out to anybody else who was just like 50 Cent, like anybody. I think we need to start. I think really the moral, we're going to bring back moral of the story. The moral of this story is if enough people are talking, then it's happening. Mm-hmm. It's not alleged. It's not a rumor. It is happening. And I think it's time that we start fucking paying attention to the smoke. And another thing, to the women who come forward who have been victimized by these men. Yeah. Like, I can't even imagine what the fuck is going through their heads. The fact that they were traumatized the first time, were probably scared for their lives. And then now to see that these men are coming, basically their their glass castles,
the glass ceiling's breaking.
Yes, their house of cards is folding.
The chickens have come to roost.
Yes, and so shout out to those ladies. And like, this is another example why it's so important to disclose, why it's so important. Like, if you have a weird feeling something funny is going on, always keep your receipts. Like, it's every month it sees like somebody else is going down, and quite frankly, like, even outside of the gossip and all the shock of it all, this is just again proving that it doesn't matter how fucking powerful you think you are, you will eventually come crumbling down if you are not doing what the fuck you're supposed to do. If you are trying to do some scummy shit, you are not. No one is unstoppable.
And I guess all I have to say is, look, two things. One, pay your bills.
Pay your
bills. If you say you're gonna do something, you gotta do it.
Don't think nobody's.
And two, NDAs just don't work. It always comes out.
If somebody has you signing an NDA, please
NDAs
turn around
just
and
don't
walk
work.
away. Just turn around and walk away.
It always comes out.
That's a red flag. It's a
matter of time.
That's a red flag. It's always giving you an NDA saying, nah, I'm good.
It's just a matter of time.
Call me an Uber, I'm out. Mm-hmm. But, it's just, it took a long time, but it's happening. And this just should, like, anybody else who's doing shady shit who thinks they are unstoppable should be fucking shaking in their boots right now. Because you are about to go down.
Who's got the biggest
I don't know when, but you fucking going down. I think they both equally have contributed to
their
pop culture and their industries, but it doesn't matter because now nobody cares about that.
Yeah.
That's not going to be the first day that pops up when I Google Diddy or WWE. Like, that's not what's popping up. Yeah. They're never going to be able to scrub that.
Mm-hmm. They're done.
With that being said,
who do you think is next?
Which billionaire do you think's about to go down?
It's only March, and Cat Williams said it's all coming out.
So you let us know in the comments. If you guys want to know what we're up to, just keep track. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube at Bubble Bath Stories.
You can follow me. I got no time for this.
And you can follow me at Nikki Trends on Instagram.
All both on Instagram.
If you guys want to check out our merchandise, you can head to our website, bubblebathstories.co, where we also have videos and episodes and updates and all that fun stuff. And if you guys want to just hit us up because you got some really good news, some bad news, you just want to vent, give us a compliment.
Or tell us what you think about the episode.
Yeah. Oh my God, we love that. Yeah. You can hit us up on our G Voice number, which is 347-878-1144. And
we're not lawyers, so nothing that we said was legal.
Yeah, so please don't come out us. And that's all, folks.
Bye.
Bye.